Okay. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the AMA with Imaginary Friends and the founder, Seth. So anyone can ask any of the questions. We are going to do this more than once. So for the people recording now or listening to the recording, if you have a question about this project, just follow both me and Imaginary Friends at imaginary_friends_NFTs on Twitter. And yeah, come to the next one. But before we actually jump into it, we did have a retweet contest going for $10 in USDC. And I'm spinning a wheel now, and I use a wheel for it. I kind of wish it was alive. And so the winner is going to be for the $10 is Tomas 7573175. So I'll send you a DM and we'll get that situated by Sunday because tomorrow is my off day, so I don't lose my mind. And speaking about losing my mind, Facebook has made me lose my mind multiple times, and I know I need one to start promoting this a little more until I imagine NFTs come out. But I personally can't stand them. So I'm going to give it over to Seth to explain what it's all about and why I'm never going to have to touch Facebook again. Go ahead, Seth.
Yes, that is the goal. That is the absolute goal. Never touch a centralized private company social network ever again because there's no need for it. Pretty much, Xcentral is a peer-to-peer social platform, and in short, it allows all creators to own 100% of their profits and 100% of their content. So, like right now, there's a big debate in the Web3 space about IP and owning that intellectual property. And what sucks is that these private companies who operate outside of our constitution because they're just that, a private company, they don't have to give the creators the IP, and they actually own all of the content on all of their platforms. And on top of that, they get to edit and redistribute all of your content in any way that they see fit, which sounds and is very malicious. And that's not a true peer-to-peer or even a social network for that instance. So what we're trying to do, we're trying to fund for Xcentral, and it's an all-in-one, your central hub for all things decentralized. So if you are a content creator on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok, you can find all of that there. If you're a musician, you can curate playlists and release all of your music on there, as well as NFTs with all those royalties up to the creator. We're trying to put out lots of social medias in one app because we don't understand why there's a need to bounce between app to app for different services when it can all be in one place. Another great feature that we're having are service features and subscription features, which means if you've ever been on Fiverr looking for an some online help, whether it be art or graphic design or web design or development, you would go to Fiverr. But now we're making it so any artist that wants to solicit their services in the e-commerce area of the space, they can do so on Xcentral as well. Same with subscription services. So I know one of the big subscription services right now is like OnlyFans with the exclusive content and things like that. One of the things that we wanted to stress on this call as well is that the entire app will have parental controls and mature content filtering. So pretty much the entire app is dedicated to you, to the user. So it is anything that you find interesting, anything that you interact with, anything else that you don't want, you won't see. That's pretty much like the short summary of it. I'm definitely excited and open for questions to be answered, and I can definitely go into depth into anything else that needs to be so as well.
Okay, I know I got a few questions. I know Marcel had quite a few questions as well as she put in our Discord. So Marcel, sorry, I'm going to bring you up to speak, and so you could ask the questions you had.
Just constantly retweeting this, just with a ton of hashtags. Hopefully get some people on a trending hashtag in here.
Marcel, you should be okay to speak now. You are muted, though. Marcel, are you there?
Okay. Yes. I thought you was gonna ask the question, which is why we posted them in the Discord. But I can ask. Okay, my first question was, and I'm reading them verbatim from where I posted. I found that college debt relief fund to be quite interesting. So I wanted to know, and we know that a lot of people is dealing with college debt funds right now, and wanted to know what was your motivation behind the college debt relief fund as a part of your project.
Short answer: giving back, giving back, giving back, giving back. That is our number one goal, and we've noticed a trend in centralized Web2 platforms where it's a lot of take, 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 and no rewards for anyone who brought them to where they are now. And we want to do that different, and especially one of the biggest demographics that we are hoping will be on Xcentral are college students, kids, and creative college students. And personally, I know that I was planning on going to college for my art, and I was unable to because one, I was unable to secure a loan, and two, if I would have, I wouldn't have been able to pay it back. So, as someone who is creating something that is trying to better the lives of everyone involved, college debt relief was just the very first thing that came to mind. One of many things that came to mind for giving back.
You have something else in your Discord too to was it to get I think it's a whitelist to prove like show donations or something like that.
Yeah. So IFS, the Imaginary Friends Society. Yes, so we love IFS. IFS is a nonprofit associated with the Pediatric Brain Tumor Foundation. And the way that we've set it up is that, well, one, I'll just give you a little rundown of what IFS is. IFS is amazing nonprofit where they take donated artwork from kiddos or anyone who donates artwork and creates 3D animated explainer videos for kiddos who are going through chemotherapy. So they teach them all the steps of what is happening and all the feelings that they may be feeling throughout this process, and they teach all of these lessons through beautifully animated imaginary friends. So when we created Imaginary Friends, we had no idea about IFS, and it was just a perfect fit of the glove. We did a little research, nonprofit involving imaginary friends, and boom, IFS popped up. Now we're in talks with them to facilitate an official partnership with them, and we're super excited. And we set it up inside of our Discord so that if you donate art, crypto, or fiat to them and send a screenshot of your submission, you automatically get welcome listed, which we're calling it welcome listed now. And so yeah, that's
I like
IFS.
that.
That's IFS in short. We're really proud to be wanting to bring imaginary friends, our imaginary friends, in those kiddos' lives because they need it as well.
I definitely like that you're doing that. Shoot, the project I'm doing, we're going to be donating to a Wolf Society. I'm still trying to figure out which one, and I feel like a lot of these crypto projects make enough money they should be able to give back, and I don't see many that actually do. So it's kind of sad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I definitely understand where you're coming from. There's lots of people who are definitely in this space right now that are more in it for them versus the majority, everyone. I definitely understand that.
Marcel, yeah, a few questions, right?
Yes. My next one was why did you choose what the Polygon network to launch your project on?
Yeah. So first reason was we wanted to make it extremely accessible for anyone new or a veteran trader to be a part of our project. So Polygon was at the time near gasless, and it still is now. So we wanted to have near or zero fees at mint, so gas fees. And as well as I'm personally bullish on Polygon, and I love the Polygon network and that what they're trying to do with the Polygon network. And we also are planning on having Polygon as an accepted currency on Xcentral. So we figured it would just be an easy merge to start our NFTs on Polygon and be able to merge them onto Xcentral quite easily. I hope that. I'm sorry if I'm being too short and direct.
No. It is that I actually like that, so I understand why you do that. I don't do Polygon that much. I'm just getting into crypto, but I do find that it's getting a little bit easier for me to move around. I mean, to use it. So
Yeah.
that's okay. So my next question is, um, your white paper states that other social media platform feeds negative contents. So how would Xcentral be different than those social media platform that you said feeds negative contents?
Yeah, that's a great question. So pretty much those social platforms are benefiting off of emotional engagement. So what that means is you're most likely in your feed right now, if you go into your social platform that you use, your favorite one, when you go ahead and scroll, that algorithm is targeting your emotions and not targeting who you actually want to support or the community or the content you actually want to consume. It's targeting your fear, it's targeting your anxiety, it's targeting your happiness, your emotions to a scale that is so malicious that the average user don't even understand what is happening in their social media. The content, actually, a good example of this is TikTok, let's say. I've been working on my TikTok, my personal profile TikTok, for about 3-4 years now, and I'm almost at 10,000 followers. But every single time I post a video, I get around 100 views, 200 views, 400 views max. I see that as a huge problem. I see that as the algorithm prioritizing people's engagement or prioritizing only specific content that I make that makes people stay on their app longer versus prioritizing my content because people followed me for my content, if that makes sense.
That does make sense. Never thought about it that way.
Explains why I have 400 some followers and only one person in here asking the questions.
Exactly, and that's not okay. And I've even made a TikTok about this, and it was kind of a funny one, but the point was valid. Like, our main goal, if you have 10,000 subscribers or 10,000 followers, or if you have 400 subscribers, 400 followers on Xcentral, you're at least guaranteed 400 views. There is no reason why someone who took the time out of their day to go and subscribe, to go to follow to you, that's them saying, I see value in you. I will spend my time with you. Obviously, Xcentral needs to pay that back. Xcentral needs to give those views to you as well. You need to have a one-to-one. Or what's the point of working so hard to grow those numbers, to grow that community?
That makes sense. That makes a whole lot of sense.
I'm glad it does.
Okay, so my and I'm gonna look at that because I have an Amazon page that I do, and I have about 800, and I never thought of it, that never thought about it that way as to why a lot of people just didn't flock there. But thank you. I look at that more. So my next question is, I saw that Xcentral will be funded by the NFT project. What mechanism has been or will be put in place to safeguard both projects from exploit, if there are any, or if it happens?
I think that is a great question for our developer. Can I hand the space over to him for that question?
Yeah, I should have access to speak. Peter, you have access still, right?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yes.
Okay. So, well, there's a lot of examples I could give, but like, it's kind of like when we get there, we'll solve it. But I'll give you a good example of that right now. It would be in our smart contracts. There are certain things called with. Crap, I literally just had it in front of me. This thing where you can like call the withdrawal function a bunch of times, and it can like drain the wallet in the NFT, and it's pretty much a hack for anybody to grab that. And there are ways to get around those sorts of things, and I'm constantly on the lookout for those types of fixes. And like pen testing is kind of like, I made this example a while ago, but pen testing is sort of like poking holes in a place where you don't know holes exist. You actually do hit a hole, it's like a huge exploit that can be used in many programs. So that is an important question to ask, and we're always on the lookout for those, for like fixes and preventations of just general malicious exploits.
Oh, I can't
You're
hear you.
very, very faint, Marcel.
Yeah.
Okay, I was saying I haven't been rugged, but I've been in a slow rug. But I've seen some where, they cipher money, they find a way around the contract and just cipher everybody money out their wallet. So that's the reason why I was asking with those. So those two projects are going to be going on at the same time.
So, what do you mean by those two projects, as in Xcentral and Imaginary Friends?
Yes, I know you're doing the NFT project and the Xcentral. Is it one project or is it two different projects? That should have been my question.
So Imaginary Friends is funding for Xcentral. So technically you can view it as two separate projects, but they're in conjunction with each other. So the way that we set up all of our utility with our Imaginary Friends is the access, those early username dibs, the exclusive features, the VIP access to certain spaces and certain development features inside of Xcentral. All that utility is from Imaginary Friends, and you only get that utility if you hold an Imaginary Friend. So it's kind of a little bit of both. So they're separate but together, if that makes sense.
I got you. Okay, so my next question is a little long one. So I'm gonna try to go as slow as I possibly can. That pictures from your camera roll can be minted, which I think is a great idea. And that your white paper states that or created contents would never be censored based on political views, etc. So how do you plan on making Xcentral safe for all users, be they young or old, or if anything can be minted and shared? And are you prepared for PERS and child pornography, those type of things amongst the platforms? And what safety measure, if any, are being put in place to prevent that?
Yes, that's a fantastic question. And this is one very, very important question that we have thought about since the very beginning of all of this. And the quick and short answer would be a couple different ones: parental controls, mature content filtering, making sure that we are verifying age of users, and two, what is considered gratuitous content. So gratuitous content is anything that acts against personal the personal relationship or the personal health or the personal mindset of anyone else. So this would be raping, murdering, pedophilic content, anything that is massively gratuitous, that is illegal in the sense of all terms, morally and ethically and legally as well. So the way that we are preventing this is when we say that we are not censoring, we mean just that. We do not mean that you get to go and say or post whatever and anything you'd like, especially if that content is gratuitous in nature. What we're saying is that you can come, even if you have, let's say, adult content, you can come to a safe space, create your own community, create your own safe space. And the only people interacting with that content are the people who have chosen to see that individual content through that mature filtering, parental controls, and your own interest as well. The entire application is based around the user's interest. So as soon as you log on, you would take a little survey. And within that survey, you would then have the option to check off or check on those parental controls, those mature content filtering as well. Additionally to that, one thing that we are very, very passionate about is mental health. And we have noticed a trend in centralized platforms that dedicate human employees to the moderation of this gratuitous content. And we think that's absolutely awful and inhumane and, quite frankly, torturous, because no human mind is adequate and equipped to handle that type of content, because that content should not exist in any realm. So and obviously this is going to be around more discussed in the table and the development side of things, but our AI will be the only thing contributing and moderating that type of content. So in an ideal world, not a single human being will be able to see that content. The moment that gratuitous content is posted, the AI will immediately take it down without having a single person witnessing that content.
Okay. One more question towards that. So is there a age limit that'll be able to use Xcentral, like a age requirement to actually get on there? Or I think we do see a lot of young people in crypto.
Yeah,
They do exist.
yeah, it's tricky. They're tricky. They're really tricky. What's really interesting is that, obviously laws around the world are a bit different, but in the U.S., kids aren't necessarily supposed to be able to invest until they're the age of 18 without parental guidance and parental controls. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. So this is how we're going about it. The only requirement for you to be a user of Xcentral is to connect your MetaMask. So if, let's say, a 12-year-old has a MetaMask, comes to Xcentral, they technically are a user. The way that we are preventing this from happening is this optional KYC, and it has to be optional or we become more on the centralized side of things. But for all of our creators and all of our users, we are offering a boost in our Xcent token mining rewards, our scroll to earn rewards, if they KYC, which would provide their information to us, their personal information, which then we can correspond with the users of our platform and to ensure that, one, they're of age, two, they are who they say they are, etc., etc. The double side of that, though, and the one thing that is tricky, and it comes with the space and is the gravity of the space, is that if we are living in a decentralized world with decentralized platforms, these kids are getting smarter and smarter and smarter with the internet, and it is really hard to. We can do the best that we can. We can put as many barriers in front of specific content as possible, but it really is it's their personal choice. If they decide to lie about their age, if they decide to illegally invest technically because of their age and connect that MetaMask, the only thing we can do to prevent that is those parental controls, that mature content, and warning users before going on to Xcentral that if we catch you in false pretenses of who you say you are, you will be punished for that. And that is one of the only things, that's like that fine line that we're walking between censoring versus, taking care of our users and taking care of our platform. So it is kind of tricky. It is something that we are thinking about and will continuously think about during development. But as of right now, the parental controls, the mature content featuring, and the optional KYC is the best that we can do as of right now.
Okay. That was all my questions, Chris.
Okay, I actually did have a few. First one, I think it'd be best for Peter, because I actually did ask this in the Discord, and I'm not really sure if I ever got an answer. I know it was referred to devs, but it kind of was. But I also just want to clarify because I think it'll be good to have on here as well for people who aren't in the Discord. I know with NFTs being as big as they are, there's probably a lot of people out there who's wanting to start minting them. Two questions involving this. One, I know through working in building and releasing one so far that you have to create the metadata, then upload the image and the metadata to the IPFS. Is that something on the back end that you guys are going to be able to handle, or is that still going to have to be on the user?
Oh, it's absolutely something that we can handle. Definitely something that we'll be able to automate for our users. And since it's just like one project that we're handling, like I didn't mind just setting up a simple IPFS to Pinata and just using those as like a IPFS network for the network. But for something like Xcentral, for users to actually automate their that process, I think is very important for usability.
And are they going to be able to do collection uploads at all, or is that something that's being looked at all, or anything?
Absolutely.
Okay. The next question I have, I'm sure if you watched crypto news at all, SEC is starting to really crack down with what's going on with BNB now. And what aspects are you taking to protect from any SEC regulation requirements, or if you are going to be SEC regulated as a security?
Yeah, I can take that one for you, Chris. So this was one of like the first thing that we tackled with the idea of this project. And the first thing was the Web3 law firm. So we have just that. So we are working with Gravis and Law, and they specialize in blockchain and Web3 technology and Web3 startups. And they are ensuring that, one, we are completely SEC compliant, and two, we are not a security. And it's really cool how we have figured this out, especially with our token Xcents, because originally the way that we were set up, we were 100% a security. And when we were noobs in the space, we didn't completely understand what was going on, and we really needed that guidance. And they completely walked us through, held our hand, and redid up everything within our project to make sure that we are compliant, especially with our tokenomics and with our future utility token. And one of the biggest things that we wanted to do in the beginning was have a pre-sale and have anyone who has an imaginary friend be able to have access to that pre-sale But then after talking with them, they're like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. This is what you should do instead. And they suggested that before we release our utility token, our entire platform needs to be in beta. So the moment that Xcentral gets released, the moment Xsense gets released, and we will not have a pre-sale. But the caveat to that and how we weaseled around these never-ending, forever changing security laws is that if we are technically paying you for services, so you come to Xcentral and the act of you scrolling, posting content, interacting with content, we are then paying you for that service from our utility token. Now, obviously, SEC security laws is a lot. I don't know if you guys are completely well versed, but pretty much, if you are paying someone for a service, it is not a security, and it's a true utility token. And that's our plan, and that's the plan for the future as well. And that's how we're going to roll out both Xcentral and Xsense so that we're compliant on both.
All right, and could you shoot me a link to that firm when you get a chance? By the
Yeah,
way?
Gravis and Law, I can totally do that. Is there a live chat where everyone can see in this?
I don't know.
I can also I can send that to you, and then I can also just make a public tweet letting everyone know, because I mean all of us are doxxed, including obviously our law firm. So we'll definitely let everyone know who Gravis and Law is for sure.
So glad you brought up docs. I know, like, especially with after these past couple months, a lot of people are probably concerned as because it doesn't necessarily mean like doxing can help, but there's still ways around it. KYC is pretty much turning out to be a joke at this point. At least the sure KYC definitely is. And there's even multi-sig. Even there was a project, I can't remember which one, like about a month ago, that got hit that had a 4 out of 5 multi-sig. What safety precautions for the user have you taken or you are planning on taking? And just if you want to talk about safety of the project.
I'm sorry, just to clarify, safety of the NFTs or safety of Xcentral?
Of the NFTs.
Sweet.
Like,
Yeah,
so make sure that people aren't getting robbed for the people who are concerned with that.
I think that's another great question for Peter. Peter, can you take that one?
Yeah. So, are you asking about software safety so people don't like get withdrawal like?
Well, more so, what you did to show you're trustworthy. Because I mean, necessarily KYC is necessarily supposed to be a good thing, but I mean, look what all the ones that happened with Assure that it's supposed to be one of the gold standards, and they're not doing anything about it. And I'm sure with with the timing it is right now, there's probably a lot of people worried about new projects. So how would you want to assure them that you're not going to run away with the money?
Well, it's definitely a good thing to ask up on. It's something I've had on my mind for a while, and I really don't have much to say about that besides, like, I've already given out my mugshots to people, although there is no real way that I know how that can stop me from, booking a plane ticket to the Caribbean or something like that after I got the money. But if you do know any good ways to do that, I am all ears. I'd be interested in that too.
I mean, I would think like a month ago I would have said, yeah, multi-sig docs, but that's not really a thing anymore. I don't know. Do you have any ideas, stuff?
Yeah, it is definitely important, and it is something that is tricky because, I mean, it really ends up being like, I mean, man, this entire idea is built on trust, right? And what are some ways that we can prove that we are trustworthy?
Well,
And
I mean, I can mention that me and you were in talks about something that may be able to help with that. That we'll discuss at a later point.
I feel like proof of work is the most important thing.
yes, that's what I was getting to. Yeah, proof of work, and yes, go ahead, Peter. You can expand on that.
Nothing much to explain. I'm sorry. Just getting into that.
So I would say definitely one, I think the fact that we are blessed, and when I say blessed, I mean it, because Gravis and Law have been so welcoming and so nice to us, so much so that they have even like pushed off our fees to them until a certain date, and so they knew that we were able to have those funds. So I'll tell you what, as of right now, obviously the best that we can do is that multi-sig, even though, it's up to debates, and then doxing ourselves as well, which we already have. But in-depth doxing, I think we can also take that to Gravis and be like, hey, our community have brought up a really good concern. We want the best possible way to ensure everyone that we are legitimate. We are not going to run off with their money. We are real, and we are here to stay. So I think that's a great concern, and we can all definitely bring that up with Gravis and Law for sure.
Okay, and I had one other one I'm trying to think. Oh, yeah. So you have a very impressive white paper. I really like the fact that you do a lot of not just explaining a project, but separation between Web 2 and Web 3.
Thank you. I appreciate that a lot, Chris. I really do. Thank you very much.
But I know there were several people in my Discord that read it, and I read it, but I do videos. I haven't done one in a while because I've been just so busy with other stuff. But I generally try to do videos on white papers, and I do plan on doing one on yours because I know people don't read white papers, unfortunately.
Yeah. I'm
Uh,
with you.
do you want to give a quick breakdown on what the NFTs are for, like what benefits they will get from owning one, and then also if you also want to talk about your the announcement you made the other day on TikTok about the new launches?
Yes. Yeah, I can definitely do that. So I think it would be best if I pull up my roadmap here really quick, just to go off that. And if you guys aren't aware, I know Tanya is about the only one in here that I haven't seen in the server yet. And I do just want to say that all of this is inside the server for all of you as well. But yes, let's touch on the roadmap a little bit, and then I can definitely talk about our new launch dates for sure. So our main utility, so we have two separate utility roadmaps, which we were really proud of. One of the things that we've noticed inside the space is either a time-based roadmap or a percentage-based roadmap off of royalties. And we wanted to do both because we didn't see why there was a reason why not to do both. So we have both a timeline roadmap for imaginary friends and a royalty-based roadmap. So the way that we split it up is that the timeline roadmap is all the utility for Xcentral. So you have an imaginary friend, and all of the utilities would be beta access to Xcentral and exclusive features. You get granted early username picks, so you'll be able to be the first to grab that clean name of yours as well, and as well as we're future partnering with ENS, hopefully, so that all of our usernames and all of our users are actual wallet addresses as well. That is something we're looking into. Exclusive access to all feature updates and all features before anyone else, which is also really cool. So this is saying, like, if we launch beta, everything's going well, we get our first 10,000 users, we launch the next update, anyone with imaginary friends has priority access to that update and to those features, especially because if you've read Xcentral's white paper, you can tell a lot of our features are designed around giving back to our creators and users in fun ways. So that's also another utility. One thing we currently have in our roadmap is also the access to Xcentral's cryptocurrency Xcents, right? And which I touched on a little bit earlier before, and I want to touch on again, because if you have an imaginary friend, the way we set it up is that upon Xcentral's launch, we can allocate an extra boost of Xcents into your accounts as service payment for funding our project through the imaginary friend NFTs. So it's kind of like our variation of a pre-sale, but it's not a pre-sale, and we're just giving them to anyone who has an imaginary friend NFT, but that only happens when it is a proper utility token, when both beta and the token is launched. So if you have an imaginary friend, you log on, you connect for the first time, and you'll see your Xcents wallet balance of an undecided, as of right now, amount. But that's the access to Xcents bit. Now that's most of our roadmap. Besides our DAO, this is really cool. I want to touch on this. Xcentral, the platform itself, is also going to double as a DAO. So inside of our platform, you can, if you have an imaginary friend, you can then go inside of the DAO feature of Xcentral and stake your imaginary friend, and now you are part of our DAO. And that will also increase your staking or your scroll to earn rewards for Xcents, and also then give you voting power within the decisions of Xcentral itself, so that the community decides the next step for the platform rather than just the founders. That's most of the time based roadmap. The royalty roadmap is quite fun as well, and this is all based out of 6%. So if you know, on OpenSea the average is 10% of royalties per secondary transaction on the market, secondary market transaction. So out of that 10%, 6% of every single transaction goes straight into this royalty roadmap. And that 6% will then go to, and there's quite a lot. I mean, we might be here for a minute if I listed them all off. I might just find a couple like key ones to talk about.
You don't have to. You don't have to go over everything. We definitely want to leave stuff so people want to read the white paper. As yeah, so just tease them a little bit.
Yeah, and the roadmap. Yeah, definitely. So I would say one of our biggest things. So the royalty roadmap. This is just gifts, like gifts upon gifts of giving back, giving back, and giving back, and that's this entire thing. So of course we'll have the typical like get together, the parties and everything like that. But we also are planning very very special special. I guess the best word to tease them are trinkets. And I think if you want to learn a little bit about that, definitely go read the roadmap and the white paper. But the trinkets and the merchandise and all of the events that we'll be doing is all part of that royalty based roadmap. So the more we have a quality project, the more holding, the more trading, the more 6% we get, the more of these rewards of the roadmap will get unlocked, if that makes sense.
And yeah, I think Tanya is in your Discord anyway as well. It's just in like 8,000 different Discords. So.
But I think that the other thing that you wanted to talk about was the new launch date, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so we thought it was in our best interest due to multiple reasons. One, community outreach, the current market cycle that we find ourselves in. We decided that it was best to have a little bit of a compromise. So we are pushing back our 8 characters that we were going to originally mint on July 14th. We're pushing that back 1 month. And rather than not doing anything on the scheduled date, the previous scheduled date on July, we are releasing an additional character. And the way that we've set this up is that we are still a 10,000 supply project, but rather than having 1,250 originally, like what we said before, 1,250 of each character, with the new 9th character releasing on July 13th with a limited supply of 1,000, it has dropped the supply of all the rest of our characters that are minting in August 14th down to 1,125. So we're still a 10,000 project, and we have 2 mint dates now. So the first mint date will be our cheapest price point at mint, and we did that for a reason. We wanted an extremely appealing price point and entry position for anyone inside the space. And 2, we wanted to do a limited supply because we thought it would incentivize our community and really kickstart everything that we would need on OpenSea, the secondary market transactions, all the hype that comes along with that, and that will ride us through the next month of August. So that's pretty much the plan right now.
So for anyone listening to this recording, please take a look at that white paper. You're also going to learn the difference between Web 2 and Web 3, which I'm not sure a lot of people know of yet. And not going to ask Seth to touch base on that right now because that'll take another 5 hours. But yeah, it's a really good read, especially to learn that difference and learn about the project. And I always recommend, even though I try to go over white papers, I always recommend to read the white paper anyway.
Definitely. Me too. I'm right there with you.
I just saw someone else pop in. I'm not sure if they have any questions at all. You can request to speak if you have any questions.
I'm super, super grateful that we got to do this for our first AMA, Chris. I'm really looking forward to our next ones. We can definitely get a weekly schedule going. I know that our team is working on different schedules right now, so we can definitely correspond with you and set this next one up as soon as possible and really try to do a big marketing push to get some more friendly faces in here for the next one as well.
Looks like I do have a request real quick if you got time for another
Yeah,
question.
100%. Yeah, that's great. We can do that.
Okay, go ahead, Monster Dad. You good to talk.
Hey guys, this is Monster Dad. Just wanted to apologize for being late and say howdy, but I didn't have any questions. I didn't want to just sit there awkwardly like I normally do. But thanks.
Thank you for coming.
Okay, well, we're actually probably about to wrap up. This is going to be recorded and posted on Twitter somehow. I got to figure that out. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the next one as well. And yeah, maybe in one of them soon we could start touching base on the other stuff we're talking about that we're not really discussing yet.
Definitely. Yes, we can definitely do that. And Chris, if you can do me a solid, definitely send me this recording when it's available for sure.
Will do.
Awesome. So are we wrapping up right now, Chris?
Okay,
Or
so
do
I
you
guess
have
with
any
that said,
final thoughts?
guess we'll call that a night then. Thanks again, everyone, for coming, and hopefully, it looks like we've seen someone else just pop in. It's up to you if you want to see if they have any questions.
Yeah, I mean, the stragglers are welcome. All stragglers are welcome, of course.
Fox, do you have any questions at all? Just send me a request to talk.
Oh, so foxes are artists, Chris.
Oh, he just changed his picture then. Never mind then. Good job on the art though then, Fox. All right, well, I guess then we'll call it a night. Thanks again for everyone for coming.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chris, for hosting this. It really means a lot, and I'm so excited to continue growing together and building together, growing and building. I'm super excited and super thankful for you.
So I am as well. And I think us working together and what we have planned is going to be big and good. And I think it will help with what we were talking about before, Peter. Does Peter know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
So, guess I'll close it out then. Thanks again, everyone, and I hope everyone has a good day.
You too, Chris. Thank you so much.
Bye. So I guess I just ended. I was hoping to stop recording, but I don't think it gives me an option to just stop recording. So I'll just talk to you later, Seth. And thanks for coming in, Marcel.